Here at New Way 1121, and a little update on our CO2 thrust bearing test rig. So here you can see our little bit of core, if you would. It's got some plumbing going into it, and you can see the where the rotor is with two journal bearings, the thrust bearing under test. But go ahead, Joe, put a thrust load on it. Just you can see through this Allen key, spinning it. Go ahead and spin it so he can't ground it with his hand here statically. It's got 100 psi fed to it right now. Go ahead, give it a spin. So you can see the rotor's carrying the Allen key, even though it's rattling around in the hole. A little TV magic, and you can see that the unit is now in an oven that we have cut the back out of in order to try to keep it nice and warm and to deal with some of the adiabatic cooling that's going to happen inside of this unit. So we have some CO2 canisters. We have a booster here to increase the pressure. Some high pressure regulators here, high pressure flow meter, a pressure gauge just to give us a good idea. In this area here, we've got some heating elements planned. You can see a pressure transducer, temperature transducer, and then it goes directly into that center thrust bearing right there. So now the outside are journal bearings, pressure feeding the journal bearings, but we also have vents. So although it's going to be going in on the order of 2,000 psi, it's going to be coming out, there'll be 1,000 psi at the vents. So that exit pressure is going to come back through here. We're going to be able to measure it again using these flow meters. At high pressure, we're going to be able to see the exit pressure right here. We've got the test core in the toaster oven. You can hear a little pneumatic hammer there, so we know it's flying. And we've got the heat buckets working down here to try to control the adiabatic cooling that's going to happen with the pressure drops. And this is the pressure generator, so we're taking the PSI at under 800 PSI coming out of the cylinder and keeping it at above 2,400 PSI here as an input. And our temperature is about 90 degrees. So we're slowly increasing the pressure in the system. Over 1,000 psi input, then you get 1,040 going into the thrust bearing. Our vents are set at 850, and our journals are just over 900, and we're flowing about 7 cubic feet per minute.
Just about. So we have
cubic feet per minute total. So that includes the journals along with the thrust bearing. And here we go. Let's go. Supercritical. Okay, looking for back pressure over 1,000 psi. We're getting there to 950. And about 1,000 psi on the journals right now. And 1,200 going into the thrust bearing.
We have 1,300 psi going to the thrust bearing, about 1,025 psi running through both journal bearings. We have the back pressure at the vent set to about 1,000 psi, and we're looking at about a total flow of 7 cubic feet per minute
in supercritical state.